We have had our first 70-degree weather day, and it has just brought new life and excitement to the lavender blue cottage. It has caused me, as the keeper of my home, want to make some changes, freshen things up, and get ready for this new season ahead. So thank you for joining me for today's video. I'm excited to freshen up my space, to take you along, and to get ready for the spring season. This video is sponsored by Quince, which makes me super excited because that means we get to talk about linen bedding. So I hope you're excited to join me for that. I have been itching to do a little master bedroom makeover for quite some time, so it's finally time to get this space decorated, and we're gonna get started today. I probably won't finish because I don't have all the products that I want, and there's some DIY projects I want to do, but let's get started. And I'm excited to share with you the new bed and linen bedding that we got. I'm working with Quince today to highlight their linen sheets and some other of their linen bedding and beautiful products for the bed, and I am just so excited. To me, there is no luxury in this world better than linen bedding. And if you've been with me for a while, you already know that I am obsessed with linen bedding. I love how wonderful it feels on your skin. I love how breathable it is. I love how durable it is. It really is the absolute best thing to sleep in. So I'm excited to share with you Quince and all the linen products that they have to offer. Now, if you've never heard of Quince, let me tell you a little bit about their company as I'm getting these sheets washed and ready to be put on our new bed. Now, I have tried out a ton of linen sheets and bedding, many brands, and I always come back to Quince because I actually find they have the best prices for the quality of product that they put out. And actually, Quince is known for high-end products at affordable pricing. You might get on the site and think that they're a dupe brand, but they're just absolutely not a dupe brand. They feel nicer. The products last longer. I love that their linen sheets are 100% European linen, and they actually work directly with their manufacturers, and they cut out the middleman, and this means that the products are more affordable and that there is no markup. They work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and offer premium fabrics and finishes. I really absolutely love Quince, love their clothing, love all their home products. Definitely check them out. I'll leave a link in the description where you can do that. You get free shipping on their products plus 365-day return, which is incredible. I don't know how they do that, but they do. So that is amazing. You can make sure you love it. So let's get to work on this space, take down the old bed, set up the new, and do my absolute favorite thing in a home, which is dressing a bed. You may recognize this bed we're taking down. We actually built this slipcovered and upholstered headboard and footboard years ago for our other home. It has a very European organic farmhouse vibe, and we lived with it for quite a while in this new home, but I just knew it never quite fit the style of the home. So I'm excited to swap that out. And you'll see this mattress we're taking down. It's quite the process. So I wanted to make sure we had the rug and everything before we took it down because this mattress is heavy, like way heavy. It's from Savvy Rest. I have talked about it before, but it comes in layers of organic foam. It is the most comfortable bed. I know some of you have actually asked me for a follow-up opinion on the Savvy Rest mattress. And 100%, I like beg and plead my mom, my sisters, my best friends that if they want a comfortable bed, it's great for back pain, very breathable, organic, the most comfortable, durable thing ever. This is the mattress, and I will link all that below if you're curious and want to know more. I think we've had it for like 4 years now, and it looks brand new. It's not like memory foam that somehow permanently shapes your body over time. This thing is not caving in. It is just absolutely divine. It is, my husband and I, we have a hard time going anywhere because our bodies are so used to this bed. It helps with back pain so much. Anyway, I am digressing, but I wanted to talk to you about this mattress that we're taking apart in layers. We haven't had a rug in this room since we lived here, and I love rugs in bedrooms. It makes it feel so cozy. So I found this rug on Quince that I really love. I'm going for more of a primitive, naturalistic space, basic and neutral. So this rug really brought in those natural textures and brought in the browns and creams that I was hoping to fill the space with. Then Kevin put together our new bed, which is a wooden bed with a headboard and a footboard. I love the curves on it. I think the wood tones are super pretty. So he put that together, and then we layered the mattress back together. You can see this topper that we put on. I think this is the key with the Savvy Rest mattresses, is the topper. It just makes it feel like a cloud. And now for my favorite part, that is dressing the bed. So I put the mattress protector on. I think that's really important to protect your mattress. And then started layering on the linen sheets. These are 100% European linen. They feel so good. And I actually chose this like earthy brown color because I thought it would look really good against the bright white duvet that we already had. And so I layered on the fitted sheet, the flat sheet, and then I put on this coverlet. Now this coverlet is also from Quince, and it would look so great like on top of a duvet or on top of your quilt, as it's called a coverlet. That's kind of the purpose of it, but I actually wanted to layer it on top of the flat sheet. This coverlet is like a heavier weight linen, and so I felt like with the warmer months coming, it would be like the perfect weight to just have the flat sheet and this coverlet, and then we have the duvet if we're ever a little chilly. But linen breathes so well, so during the warmer months this is just going to be absolutely perfect to cozy up with and sleep with, keeping our bodies cool and comfortable. And I loved that the coverlet was this creamy white color, again playing this kind of tone on tone thing with the earthy sheets, creamy white coverlet, and then we're putting on the white linen duvet and duvet cover. I also selected this green quilt to layer onto the bed to add a little bit of color and pattern, and I was playing around with how I wanted to layer it. I really love putting quilts at the foot of a bed. That way if you like sit there and prop your feet up, you're not getting your white bedding dirty, but also of course it adds that nice style touch. So I tried tucking it in at the bottom so that it was folded into the footboard. And then I also played around with just folding it and laying it across the bottom of the bed, letting some of that white duvet still peek out. And I ended up liking that a little bit better, but it's really fun to just play around with your bedding, your linens, until you get the right layered look that you're after. And of course we have to top a bed with some pretty throw pillows. Again, I just brought in these earthy white on white colors with a little splash of brown, layered it all together. I tell you, the first night we made this up, I could not wait to go to bed that night. It just looked so cozy. I love the look and feel of linen on the bed. I've said it over and over, you guys, I'm sorry, but it is just, it's my idea of heaven, and it is so beautiful. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I put that together. I'm going to keep working on this space, getting it really pretty and finish out the final details, and I can't wait to share that reveal with you. With Easter coming up, I wanted to make a few more changes around the home to remind us of this glorious season, holiday, and of course, the hope that comes through Jesus Christ and his resurrection. I've really been wanting to be more intentional about this holiday, and I know as the keeper of my home, I can do a lot to set the stage, if you will, for how a holiday or season feels for my family. The last few years, I've been slowly adding some more meaningful Easter decor to our home, and this year I decided to finally buy a tomb and Christus that I have been eyeing for several years. I know we will treasure these for many years to come, and I just love how both the tomb and the resurrected Christ are white, and I let that be my guide for how I wanted to bring the spirit of Easter into our home. For our dining table, I pulled out a linen cloth that I antiqued a pretty long time ago. And as I was spreading on the table, it made me think about the sacrament ordinance that I participate in every Sunday at church. In the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we partake of bread and water each week, symbolic of his body and blood that Christ gave for us. I know many other faiths do this in their own worship, sometimes known as the Last Supper ordinance, the communion, or Eucharist. I love that so many of us do this as a reminder of the sacrifice and love God has for each of us. On our sacrament tables, the bread and water is covered by a white linen cloth and gently folded over as the symbols are taken and passed around. It's very symbolic of the body of Christ laying in the tomb. As I prepared our own table with a white linen cloth, my mind was drawn to the glorious news pronounced in Matthew 28, that he is not here, for he is risen. I topped the table with some beautiful white tulips. For me, these are the flowers of hope. I love watching them spring forth as a sign that the cold and bitter days of winter are over and hope for brighter days lie ahead. Perhaps another reminder at Easter time that sin and death have been overcome through Jesus Christ, our Savior. At this point, I was really inspired by using white all over for our Easter decor, and I pulled out some of my torn linen strips that I'd made into linen ribbon, and I tied it in a bow for our dried sage wreath that I still actually have up in the dining room. It made me think of his body, bruised and torn for us, and yet how beautiful this delicate, pure, and simple ribbon looks, draped inside a circular wreath, a reminder of an eternal, never-ending life with God because of the sacrifice of his only begotten Son. Next, I turned my attention to the mantle, still actually holding candles of light from our Christmas decor, a reminder of the light of the world in the midst of a darker season. While I cleaned up the mantle, vacuumed little dust bunnies that had collected, and laid down a beautiful garland with greenery and white flowers, I pulled out other white faux florals that I'd purchased and tucked in sprigs of tulips, hydrangeas, and other white flowers to give the garland a little more volume. And in the center of all this beauty, I placed an image of the hand of our resurrected Lord, beckoning us to come unto him and see what he has done. It's a simple display and yet a clear focus for my family to look upon. I want them to remember Christ is the way, the truth, and the light, and will lead us to salvation. Finally, I turned my attention to the outside, and I added a spring wreath with white flowers to our front door. I actually layered two of them that were more inexpensive wreaths that I found, but they looked better and fuller together. And in the center, I layered two satin ribbons together and tied them in a bow with really long tails. It made me think that when we enter into a life with Christ, we are changed and transformed by his grace, and peace and comfort is our promise. I had some more white ribbon, so I decided to tie them to our light posts. I actually still had some red gingham ribbon on there from Christmas, maybe a little embarrassing, but I just loved how those simple bows would welcome us back home as we passed them and pulled into the garage. So I tied some simple white bows to the post and enjoyed watching them sway in the gentle breeze. It made me think, someday Christ will welcome me home, back to his loving embrace. And because of his resurrection, I will someday also be reunited with my body and reunited with family and friends who have already gone home and that I miss so desperately. What an incredible hope we have, all because God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Truly, Easter is the ultimate message of making big changes in our lives, of new beginnings, and of incredible hope. And I hope this video has inspired you and given you ideas of how you can bring the message of Easter into your heart and home. I'll leave you with one more idea that we really enjoyed doing together. So I went to the dollar store and gathered supplies to make our own resurrection gardens. It was so fun to see the kids put these together, and then we enjoyed choosing a few families in our community to drop them off to their doorstep. This will definitely be a new tradition that we do each year. I've put together a blog post with more details on this project if you want to check that out in the description below. Thanks for joining me today, my friend. I hope you feel inspired as the keeper of your home, and I'll make sure and be back to share more inspiration with you. Make sure you check that link in my description below. Go check out Quince, see what products they have for your home, maybe check out their linen bedding, and a huge thanks to Quince for sponsoring this video.